Show you this window here. This was the kind of window that's over there. As you can see how it's made. And what I wanted to do was take that window out. There's a broken. I'm sure the weights are still inside there. So I was able to cut this piece in two, just about where the windows met. See right here? And then pry it out. Slide that window down. It was stuck in there, of course, from being painted a million times. Or a couple times, let's put it that way. And then I was able to, there was a little stop right here. So I figured when I saw that stop on there, somebody had nailed on there, that window supposedly would go up and down. And that's exactly what it does, if there's no paint on it. I had an awful time getting these rollers out. These rollers were keeping the window from coming out also. I'm going to spray this full of foam. These foam those shut before I put this window back in. The reason I wanted a nice window, because somebody up here sleeping or gets up in the morning, they can look out and get a really nice view of the lake, right? And also, it was embarrassing for somebody to come up here to see somebody had tried to tape a piece of glass in there. And obviously, the window has never had any care. So I'm going to try to, I've got 2 panes of glass that were left here. So I've got 2 chances to fix this window. So I'm going to try to scrape all that crap out of there. And then I bought this stuff from Lowe's. I did one window with it. It's kind of weird using it. It's like putty almost. So that's what's supposed to use it. So I last got this. I played this in there so you can see what it looked like. I got that out. You can see it was all broken. And alright, so I went around and took anything loose out. There's some right here that didn't want to come out, and I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to leave it there because there's a good chance if I start prying on it, I'll either ruin the wood or the glass. Remember, the whole point of this is to make it as close to airtight as I can, waterproof, weatherproof, to hold the glass in. I'm not here to try to make a brand new window. I don't know if you can see that, but there's what they call a point right there. Well, once you pull this putty or whatever you want to call it out, sometimes the point will come with it, and you may have to put it in a window that all you did was take out, like right there. The point came out. I don't feel a point there, but there's one right there. That's holding the window in right now because all the putty's gone. So once you start taking this out, it could fall out. So basically, you know, if it's standing straight up, normally you don't have them laying on the ground like this, or on the floor. So now I'll show you these points. This is pretty much what you're going to buy now if you buy them. I'm going to show you the difference in them. This one right there is a new one. And these are some of them that came out while I was trying to clean up the windows. See these little ones? These used to be a real pain to put in because when you're trying to put them in, it's hard to push on them without forcing down on the glass. So now they've come up with these. And this point actually, see how that looks just like this one? That point, the point that they kept, goes in the wood. And then the glass actually sits on this little ledge right like this. And that way you got this little thing sticking up, you can push on it. There's still a chance you could break it, but it's less of a chance. Just showing you how to do it. Obviously they sell you some kind of special little tool, which I don't have. But I have something that's very close to it. I don't know. looks like it might be very close. Yeah, it works. Nice if it had been just a slight. I'm just going to try to center it best I can. Like I say, nothing on here is straight. Oh, look at this. This isn't even straight. You see how this was warped a little bit? I don't know if you can see it, but it is. You see that that's not exactly straight. See how it's a little bit, well, it's twisted a little bit, probably from years of not being taken care of. But I can get it on there. That's the whole point. I'm trying to keep out the snow, okay? This is what I'm using. I bought these 2 new cans yesterday, or day before yesterday. Made the mistake of trying to use it right out of the can, right off the top. And it was so gooey, sticky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out of the can, all of it, make a big ball out of it. This is what it's supposed to look like, not this. And what it has is settled. And all the solids have settled at the bottom. So I'm going to get this out of here, which is not an easy thing. You got to dig it out. Dig it out. Get on a piece of plywood, clean piece of plywood, and work it. You get the idea. If you did, you wouldn't be able to call yourself a do-it-yourselfer. See what I'm doing? I'm just kind of packing it in there right now with my fingers. Trying to get it up against that wood, that old wood, and I've scraped that wood, trying to get it clean. That's the reason. I want it to stick to that wood. And I also want to push it down in that crack between the glass. This crack, I want to push it down in there. I'm trying to make it airtight. And it's a little harder for me to cover them up with this glazing compound. In other words, these are very narrow right here. So for me to cover that up, I have to actually go out beyond what you can see through. It's not a big deal, but it's just something I noticed. You used a lot more of this to cover up that big one there than this little one over here. See that little one? See the difference? So there you go. Alright, so I got all the glass repaired. I'm going to scrape off this little bit that's left on here and then seal these puppies up and get them painted. Okay, that's the finished product. Now I'm going to paint it. Remember, this is really, really soft. So the paintbrush is actually going to, see that how it's feathered right here? Paintbrush will probably crush that, smooth it out. And then when I'm going to scrape these windows back off, I'll scrape that right up too with these. So don't worry about that. I'm not going to mask these windows. I'm just going to paint everything, then scrape off the glass. I did sand off this best I could with a belt sander. I didn't take all the paint off. There's little gashes there, but those are filling in. But I don't want to make this window too fat, then it'll go up and down hard. This is the part that slides right here. You can see right there? That had paint on it. If I'd have added more paint, it would have been real tight. And you know how you've heard people say, paint the windows shut? Well, that was what would happen. So you want to clean off the paint most as you can. Don't go too far, then the window will be loose. But that can be fixed. But anyway, that's where we're at. It might still be tight because when I paint this wood is going to suck up some of that oil out of this. This window glazing is, you thin it with paint thinner. So you want to use a paint that you paint thin with paint thinner. I'm using oil-based, actually it's called alkaline. And this is what I'm using. This was just here. So I'm going to use it up. It's a primer. Sooner or later, maybe, me or one of my grandkids will paint the insides of these all over again with finished paint. Right now I want to get them sealed. This is more for weather and cold and heat to keep that at bay. And I believe I'm getting better at this. This went a lot faster. I'm getting over the fear of playing with this crap. Yeah, I got some errors here. See that right there in that corner? See that corner right there? It's got a hump in it. I didn't see that. And look at it. See, it's almost like cookie dough. I should get a baker to do this. But anyway, the crazy part of this is I do all this work and it's going to be behind the screen. See that window right there? It's one of the first ones I did. My daughter actually helped me on that one. And then they put a screen on it and you can barely see it. Believe it or not, that's white in there.